Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
We got John Tucker, Paul Sweeney. We're live here in our Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio, along with Tom Keene. We welcome to our studio Curtis Sliwa. He is the founder of the Guardian Angels. Mr. Sliwa is a Republican candidate, 2025 New York City mayor
The very
race.
patient Curtis Sliwa.
Very patient. Thank you for waiting while we were listening to President Trump and Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
Well, far more important than what we're going to be talking about.
Curtis, talk to us about New York City, your view of New York City. What does the city need right now?
Right now, just from the business perspective, you think about it, with the 17.5% corporate tax when you include the state and city, 9% for the city, and you compare it to where everybody is fleeing to, Florida or Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Tennessee, it's prohibitive to keeping business here. The personal income tax at about 9% in the city, and then 9% of the sales tax. For us to keep business from fleeing, we've got to start slashing taxes, at least those that a mayor can control. And he's done nothing to fight Albany, nothing to go up there and to battle the governor and also the state legislature to try to preserve the business climate in New York City. Just walking to this studio of yours at Bloomberg today, all the storefronts that are closed, the retail storefronts. Why? Congestion pricing. It has limited the amount of foot traffic for merchants, many of them small business owners, mid-sized business owners, and the chain stores, and they just can't pay their lease at the end of the month. So this state and this city especially does everything to basically make it impossible to stay.
My daughter is desperate to move into Manhattan, and I'm desperate for her to move out of the house. She would have to get... we calculated this, to pay Manhattan rent, she'd have to have 10 roommates.
Right.
What is the plan to make housing rents more affordable in Manhattan?
Well, you're right. I happen to be married.
all of New York City.
Yeah, I'm married to a millennial, Nancy, who is an e-attorney.
How did you work that out?
It was an upgrade for me. But she went to Brooklyn Law, and she has huge student loans to pay, as so many millennials do. That's why Zorhan has resonated. So you got to pay your student loans first. Then you got to pay your rent. Then, as you mentioned, you already went maybe to 4 years of college, got a graduate degree. You lived in dormitory-style housing. You come into New York City. You're now living in a dormitory again. You're making $150,000 maybe as a financial analyst, a CPA, an attorney. You just can't make ends meet, so you're angry. So you've got to provide a means for these young people to stay here, because they're being attracted also out of state with their skill levels. We promise them you go to college, get a good education, get a skill level, and you'll live the American dream. They can't even get a mortgage for a house. They can't even buy a car. And that's something we have to address in the city, also nationally.
Curtis, I got to ask as a courtesy, over a decade ago, you had a cancer scare. How's your health?
I did. I had prostate cancer, and I had it removed. Maybe worst mistake in my life, because now they have about 12 other remedies.
Science has really come along.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I lost a great colleague, Bernard McGurk at WABC, the healthiest guy there. But he never got a simple PSA test, a simple prick of the finger, the blood test. I advise everyone listening out there, make sure your men folk get that PSA test.
New York Post, sympathetic to you. They've got an article just in the last, I'm going to say 48 hours tops. Prediction markets forecast socialist landslide for New York City mayor race. What can you do to halt that? Do you have a timeline to the first Tuesday of November where you say, I'm stepping aside in support of whoever?
Well, if you've noticed, in the last 3 weeks, I've been surging. And in fact, the New York Post business section said I was the winner of the week. Not only my polling numbers are up, but also my pathway to victory, because now you have four main candidates. Three Democrats. Zoran is still a Democrat, even though he's a socialist. Cuomo and Adams, who have been a failed mayor and a failed governor. And then you have me, the Republican candidate, who starts with about 28%. I also have a protect the animals line, never before in the history of electoral politics on an independent line. No kill shelters and put animal abusers in jail. With that, I expect to get upwards of about 35% of the vote, and I could be your next mayor.
You have 16 cats?
Well, 6 cats now. We had 16 in the last election cycle, 2021.
How big is your apartment?
It's small, But we were rescuing cats who were not being taken in by the shelters, remember, with the lockdown and pandemic.
Curtis, talk to us about Mr. Mamdani. What does it say to you that he had such a successful primary? What does it say to you about the city of New York right now?
He worked harder than Andrew Cuomo, who mailed it in, who thought he was going to have a coronation. And now he's apologized for not working hard to beat the socialists. I say it's the Democrats who let the socialists in. Remember, Bernie Sanders was never a Democrat, is still not a Democrat, but Hillary wanted to show she had competition in 2016. He basically won the caucuses and the primaries. She got the superdelegates. And then what happened? Joe Crowley didn't run a race against AOC. She won. Andrew Cuomo didn't run a race against Zohran Mamdani. So the Democrats have turned their party over to the socialists. That's why the only thing you could do is vote for the Republican, because remember, during Giuliani and Bloomberg, that was 20 years. Pataki, 12 years as governor, Republican. No chaos, no corruption. De Blasio, Cuomo, and Adams, all we've had is chaos and corruption. You've got to go the Republican route, and I'm the only Republican candidate in this.
Has Mamdani locked up the younger vote?
No, he is not. Now, I don't see Adams nor Cuomo going after the millennials or Gen Zers, but remember, my ability to organize guardian angels, not just here, but all over the world, 13 countries, 130 cities over a total of 46 years, is based on me being able to recruit volunteers who are younger than I am, who fit into the category of millennials and Gen Zers. So I'm in all the communities that he overwhelmingly beat Cuomo in the Democratic primary. Long Island City, Astoria, which is his base, the Lower East Side. And there are millennials and Gen Zers who will join your effort as they did the Trump effort. When he beat Harris convincingly, he got a lot of male millennials and a lot of male Gen Zs because they targeted them.
Talk to us about crime and the New York City Police Department.
We need at least 7,000 more cops, and I have a remedy to do that. First off, Jimmy Dolan of Madison Square Garden, who pays no property taxes, he's going to be paying his fair share. And universities like NYU and Columbia are going to try to touch the money that they use for teaching and for the teachers themselves. But they buy up a lot of property that has nothing to do in Morningside Heights and Greenwich Village with education or housing for teachers or students. And they should be forced to pay their fair share of property tax. That should be enough money to hire 7,000 cops that we desperately need. And we have to give them back their qualified immunity. Every civil servant, all 300,000 in the city, are protected by the insurance we pay for should they be sued, except the police. The state legislature, the city council in 2019, and then Governor Cuomo stripped them of qualified immunity. Notice who's protected by qualified immunity now with the 13 sexual harassment suits, as Tom DiNapoli, the state controller, has told us, Andrew Cuomo. We keep paying his legal bills because when he was governor, he's protected by qualified immunity. We have to give that back to the cops so they can go out there and do the job as they've been trained to do.
In the green room, you were listening to Donald Trump as we carried him live with Keira Starmer from Scotland. What's your relationship with the president as a Republican?
Oh, I go way back with Donald Trump. We're consummate New Yorkers. We've had a love-hate relationship. If you've noticed of late, he has embraced Eric Adams because he got him out of the court process of the Department of Justice. I know intimately the details of the straw donuts because he did that when he was running against me in 2021. Eric Adams belongs in jail. Mm-hmm. Now he's at the beck and call of the president. The president has said nice things about Andrew Cuomo and has basically just referred to me as a Republican candidate. I would suggest with the world issues, the president just stay out of the local election. Just stay out of it.
Curtis, I got to go back here a bit. And I say this with great respect for John Lindsay and a Republican of another time and place. 1980, Al D'Amato stuns the world and beats Jacob Javits by 55% take. Then he wins on a split Democratic ticket, 45%. Al D'Amato wins. Al D'Amato wins by a small 53% against Mark Green. This is staggering through the 1980s. There's a resurgent Republican Party. Mr. Trump has proven that. People go, Paul, New Jersey, it could go Republican, or Long Island again, or north up the Hudson River. How do you perceive the Republican Party doing better in the boroughs? How's that going to happen in Brooklyn, in Queens, in Brock? Dare I say the 12 Republicans in Manhattan? It could happen. How does a Republican Party take this city?
Well, if you look at the polling data of late, in which I'm surging, and Eric Adams can barely get into double digits, I have 35% of the vote in the Bronx. So you look to Brooklyn and Queens, and obviously Staten Island, it's blue-collar working class people, homeowners. That's why I'm opposed to the city of yes, because it would give the developers and the realtors an opportunity to go in and take single and 2 and 3 and 4 family homes from people who have decided to improve.
Let's cut to the chase. What are you going to do with the NYPD? What we've had? How many mayor candidates have we had? Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8. You've been doing this for pushing 50 years. Mario Cuomo got behind you a million years ago. The NYPD, what's the consensus, Paul? We're down 30,000 police officers?
Yeah, 35,000.
What are you going to do day one to help NYPD?
Well, number one, you keep Jessica Tisch right there. If she's willing to serve, she had to give one police plaza a badly needed colonic on the 14th floor.
A what?
Colonic. Caban, the police commissioner, had so tainted the role of the police commissioner, and worse, Jeffrey Madry, head of patrol, turned that 13th floor into Caligula. They were all Eric Adams' cronies. The best choice he made was Jessica Tisch to clean up his mess, and I think if she wanted to stay for stability, you keep her as police commissioner, and you'll go a long way into restoring the glory and the tradition of the NYPD, which has been tainted by Eric Adams and his cronies.
And just to be clear before you go, congestion pricing is kaput?
Congestion pricing, I side with the Secretary of Transportation and also the President. It's got to go. It has led to so many businesses closing south of 60th Street. It's another tax of the many taxes that have been put on New Yorkers and those from out of state and affect blue-collar working class people and tradesmen and tradeswomen. It's got to go. And you know something? Mandami says free bus fare, and people get upset. Half the people don't pay their bus fare to begin with. How about enforcement of fare evasion? Adams hasn't done it. Cuomo didn't do it as governor. Sliwa will do it when I'm mayor, and that will be a priority. You pay your fare when you ride the subways or buses. 30% of the people who ride the subways don't even bother to pay their fare.
30 seconds, immigration in New York City.
Immigration, if you want to preserve business, you can't be dragging people out of the backs of restaurants and the hospitality industry who are not criminals. If you don't allow them and find a way for them to legally work, my 3 sons, I have 3 sons, neither of them or any of your sons or grandchildren out there are going to do that kind of work.
Curtis, thank you so much for joining us. Curtis Sliwa, he's the founder of the Guardian Angels, also Republican candidate for the 2025 New York City mayoral race coming up. We appreciate getting a few minutes of your time.